and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today, I have the lovely pleasure to sit down with a local entrepreneur and small business owner, the owner of Red Ink clothing line. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, I'm Andrew Rodriguez. People call me Drew, whatever you want to call me. They just don't call me late for dinner.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company?
Yeah, I was, so ever since a kid, I was always into, I'm not going to say clothing, but, we weren't just dirt poor. But, I wasn't getting everything off the shelf either. So, when I wouldn't want it to be a ninja, I would always have to make my little costume, if you will. Batman, I made a Batman outfit out of a curtain, So it was always stuff like that I was always into, kind of clothing brand, right? I grew up on the southeast side of town, so I would always see the D-boys, the drug dealers and stuff like that. Those were my heroes growing up. And I would always see, a lot of kids were infatuated with their cars, but I was always infatuated with what they had on. Like, man, look at the dokie rope, you know what I mean? Look at the jewelry they had on, the rings, everything, the watches and the clothes and the 8-ball jackets and stuff like that. So that always intrigued me. So I was always into, again, I don't want to say fashion, but at the same time, clothing.
Yeah.
It always, so that was my thing. That's what caught me into it at an early age. As far as the brand goes, like I said, I was looking up to the drug dealers. So of course that's what I became. I became a drug dealer and did all that other stuff. And, I was always in and out of jail, 17 years old, always going in and out, selling dope. So I guess you could say I was an entrepreneur even before the clothing brand. So I learned, the ropes of how to move product and stuff like that. So the last time I got out of jail was like 2010, and I did 8.5 years flat, like the whole time. So when I was in prison, I was like, man, I gotta get out. I gotta quit doing this because I'm no good at selling dope. You know what I mean? I was always like, every 6 months I was going back to jail. So I said, man, I gotta stay out. I gotta do something. What could I do? Long story short, I get out and I wanted to start the clothing brand. So I did, and I met up with a couple of guys. I don't know if you know, his name's Donkey Boy. He's an artist in Houston. He's kind of known. Does a lot of stuff with 8 Wonder and, a lot of stuff going on. And so I linked up with him. He was doing shirts like out of his garage, him and his mom. And they would press, that's why I do this motion, because it's like they're doing the screen print. Mm-hmm. And I came up with the little design with my brother-in-law, and then he did the artwork, and then I gave him the idea, and then they printed like 24 shirts or something like that. And I said, okay, this is what I'm gonna start doing. I shot everybody on Facebook, hey man, this is my shirt, my clothing brand, whatever like that. So a lot of friends of mine just bought one just cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how that little girl that's selling candy?
Yeah.
You buy like 1 or 2 just cause you don't even like it, but So I completely sold out, and I was gonna take the money and, double it, go get now 28 of them or whatever the case was. And I got a phone call, and a friend of mine was like, hey man, this stuff's coming off the shirt. And I'm like, man, how do you mean? He's like, I'll show you a picture. And he sent me a picture, and it looked like snow from the TV. Yeah, the whole thing just came out. And no love lost to Donkey Boy, because they made it right. I called him. I'm like, hey, man, these shirts are... And a lot of my friends were like, oh, man, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no. I want to, I want to start this up. So I had a vision. And then they're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I told him, and he goes, come by, and I'm going to give you a whole new stack of shirts. Don't even worry about it. So I caught myself double hustling, right? I hit that bump in the road, and I was still on the leg monitor. I still had like 7 years of parole to go. And I'm like, man, forget this. I'm going to get a real job, and whatever I get, right? So that went on, and that was the bump in the road that stopped me. 10 years later, man, I had these ideas. I would have ideas. I would have this. I would want to do this. And I would tell like my wife, like, man, look, man, I'm thinking about doing this. Then I'll sell this. Then I'll sell that. And then like maybe 2 months or next season, it would come out. And she was like, how do you know what's coming up next? I'm like, I don't know. It's just something that I think about and I like, right? And then she was like, man, all right. So I couldn't stop thinking about ideas. I couldn't stop thinking about it. 10 years later, here I am starting it up. So it's been going well. In fact, the brand is named The Words in Red Incorporated, and it's Red Ink for short. I wanted to use red ink like INK, but somebody already had it.
Oh, okay.
So I put incorporated so it could still say ink, but at the same time it means, you know what I mean? So I actually started with this one, with this hoodie right here. This is my first hoodie that I've ever done. And this is with the black on black and then the red ink. Is the very first one. I only did one at the time because I wanted to smooth my way back into it. That's why I just blocked letters. I just did it myself. And just to get a vision of it. I would look at it, I put it against the thing, I started staring at it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, this could work. This could work, you know? And then I said, who do I think I'm kidding? And I grabbed it and I threw it in the closet. That was on a Friday, right? So I said, man, I'm done, whatever. And I threw it in the closet, like the arm hung down the shelf and everything like that. So I got a mentor, his name's Dr. Gary Alanese, right? So I went to go see him on a Sunday. And before we even started talking, he goes, man, you know that dream you had that don't let you sleep? The ideas that you have? He goes, get it out the closet and give it to the world. And I said, yo, how did this man know this? There's no way. Man, I went in that closet, pulled it out.
Wow.
I started with a garage sale. Like, man, I cleaned up the whole garage. I did a whole garage, got like $300 out of it. I took that $300. I went to, get some shirts. And met another guy. And, man, the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. So I read part of on your Instagram that the red also stands for representing every underdog. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
The brand is for every underdog that they say they couldn't do it. Every buddy that outcast that don't feel like they belong. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been there. You know what I mean? I've been there. I've been treated that way. I've been kicked around. And I know how it feels to be there. And I know how it feels to be on top. So I really want everybody to be on top. And I feel with the positivity of the clothing brand, when you put it on, you're draped in something different. You're draped in something royalty. You're draped in something that, man, you could make happen yourself. Like a lot of us wasn't the, silver spoon fed people that, you know what I mean? So, but when you put my stuff on, it's just the extra pep in your step. You get an extra inch or two, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you could conquer the world. And then a lot of my stuff has deeper meaning to it. Like, you have some pictures and some just words and something like that. But a lot of stuff have deeper meaning to it. Like I got a lion and it got a scar on it. And it said scarred, but I emphasized the red, right? Like the red ink. So scarred means like everybody's been scarred before, either mentally, physically, spiritually. We've been abused. It's cold world. But even though we have them scars, don't forget your royalty too. And then that's why when people wear it, I want people to look and be like, you know what? I can't do it. It's just a reminder. Because you know how we pass a mirror, we kind of look if we admit it or not, but adjust ourselves. Maybe we have, So when they see that shirt or whatever they're wearing, I want them to know, I can conquer the day. I can get that position. I can get that raise. I can get that. You know what I mean? So it's been cool, man. I've been working with kids. I've been working with young adults, teenagers, and just to let them know, hey, there's another way than this route that I've been at. I've been there. Ain't nothing there. You know what I mean? So believe me, if you want to test your own, I'll visit you. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, come this way. It's a whole lot better. You know what I mean?
And that's amazing, and the proof is in the pudding, you know what I'm saying? It's like you said, I've been there, did that, did the time, and now I'm here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't learn from my mistakes, kind of thing, you know?
Right. Yeah, it was worth it for me to go through it if somebody can say, man, I ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
So it was worth me going through it. You see, I had a lot, I was the 8th kid. I was the 9th kid from my mom and dad. And my dad was always sick. He had diabetes. So since I was a kid, I always remembered him sick. Then he passed on when I was 13. So, I didn't have a father figure. And the dudes in the street remember my pops because he used to play with them like football and stuff like that because of my older brothers. So they kind of took me under their wing, and it was love. We just didn't know how to love. So a lot of times people put, like, here, man, here's a pack of Coke or crack, and it's off the love. You just give me such and such back, and you can make it. And I know a lot of people are like, man, that's not love. But you know what? In our minds, it was. And I always took it that way. We just didn't know how to love. You know what I mean? So I took it to the street real quick, and it was just how do I say, a learning experience. Like I just had to go through it, and that's all I knew. And that's really, in my mind, that's really what I thought I was worth. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always getting bashed, like, man, you ain't nothing, you ain't this, you ain't gonna be that. Especially in the Latino community, like a lot of us, uh, uh, I'm over here trying to practice breakdancing, and I got a brother saying, stupid, you ain't never gonna do nothing with it, you ain't never gonna do like, dang. And it just killed my dream. Or I'm doing this, and they're like, dumb, who do you think you are? I'm like, man. So a lot of times I'm like, you know what? Maybe I ain't nothing. Maybe I ain't never gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I am just the drug dealer on the block. Or maybe I'm just a stick-up kid. You know what I mean? And I really believe that. And I would go to jail in these homes because I played ball in high school, and I had coaches like, man, Andrew, you have potential, but you don't see it. And I'm just like rolling my eyes. I'm like, all right, this is just fun to me right now. And I had quit football in my senior year, and my coach was like, he was like, man, live it. Like, what are you doing? Why are you quitting? I'm like, coach, I ain't fun no more. I already did the little tunnel. I did all that. I'm a chill. And he was like, I can't believe that you're just gonna give up like that. So I started taking the elective classes and stuff like that, art and stuff. And I had teachers like, because they knew what I was doing, but I was never like a bad kid in school. I was always on time. I was always like listening. Sometimes I was the teacher's pet, you know what I mean? They didn't know I had another life outside the school. And I mean, they knew and they didn't know, you know what I mean? They wanted to refuse to believe that. But when I was going to jail, I had a lot of teachers like, man, you got so much potential. You got so much potential. Why don't you use it? But I never believed it. So I go to boot camp. I get probation, do all that other stuff, mess probation up. I'll go to boot camp as a kid. And then I had a drill instructor. His name was Drill Instructor Hartley, right? And he did Nike commercials. They were giving him fly gear. Yeah. Like he was a monster. But when I got to boot camp, man, you can't tell me nothing. Hey, get out of my face. I was a real asshole, you know what I mean? And so they put a black shirt on me to let everybody know this is the one that he ain't even here. Everybody else had like a green shirt and they're doing the thing. And one day, it was a 3-month program. It took me 6 months to complete it because I would never I'm not doing that. But I would see drill instructor Hartley, right? And he was like a machine. He would like work out with us. While other drill instructors was telling us to do it, he'd get down and do it with us. So it was just like lead by example, and something clicked in me. I'm looking at him. I'm like, man, this dude's he's so fit, and he's, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of looked up to the guy. I thought he was cool. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing it too. He woke some up in me physically, right? And I became what they call a hard charger. So now I'm, doing the program, and I'm not giving up because he woke that up in me. I ain't giving up. And a lot of times my body would collapse before my mind would because I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he seen that, and he made me a squad leader. Wow. And he would always brag on me. And he was like, look, man, Rodriguez, he was a black shirt, and now he's a squad leader. And I did that. And it's true, he did do that. You know what I'm saying? He did that. He woke something up in me. And I remember my last day at boot camp, I was fixing to go home. Mom's waiting for me outside. Like, I'm going free from the past 6 months. And he comes up to me and he says, Rodriguez, he said, what are you going to do when you get out? And I had a puzzled look on my face, and I said, I don't know. And he says, God dang, Rodriguez, I can't believe you still don't see it. You still don't see it, do you? You don't know who you are yet. And I'm like, nah, I guess I don't. You know what I mean? And I would love to say, that after that I quit going to jail. But man, that's when it all started getting even worse. But I always had that mentality in my mind, And so I was going in and out of jail, and I met Dr. Gary Alanis, and I call him my mentor because when he started talking, man, it was like a roar that woke something up in me. And now I could believe I could conquer the world. And it took so many years, decades, for me to finally realize, because I never had a man in my life to tell me you worth something. All the men in my life were like, look, man, this is what we are, and this is it. I didn't expect to live this long. You know, a lot of people say, you know, a lot of people already at my age got their nest egg, they got their, 401, they got everything going. But man, I never thought I lived this long, so I never prepared. And there's so many people like that. And there's so many kids going that route that they don't believe they're going to be 21. So they'll never prepare to be 50. You know what I'm saying? Like a stable, no vacations, jail, if anything. But I want to be that example to be like, hey man, you are somebody. I love you. You know what I'm saying? And I tell a lot of people that, and sometimes they're uncomfortable, sometimes they're like, I've never been told that before. But that's why I say it. Because I love you and I do, and I love my people. And when I say my people, I don't mean just Latinos, or I don't mean people that went to jail. I mean everybody, every outcast, everyone that felt they never belonged. The suicide rate right now is ridiculous. A lot of these kids are even talking about it. It's as small as third graders. They're talking about killing themselves. They ain't even had time to live yet. So if I can do anything I can do with the clothing brand, just to remind them when they put it on, like, you know what? I can conquer the world. This is my life. This is what I can do, what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Then it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. And, I'm glad we have this opportunity to ask you about this because,
Right.
We may look at the brand, on your website and be like, oh, that looks cool, whatever. But we don't know how deep the water runs,
Yeah, and that's what I always try to do. Like, I'm going to get you with something fly, but when you're wearing it,
Yeah.
you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? I was, Mayweather, Jr., the boxer. So I was in Las Vegas and I went to his gym and I seen his dad, senior, right? And I said, hey man, I got you a gift. He goes, what? You ain't got me a gift. I said, I got you a gift. He goes, what do you got for me? I said, look, and I got a shirt. It's a red shirt and it says hereditary. And of course I play on the words with the red, but it's hereditary, right? And that's from generation to generation. And I said, here. He goes, man, this is for June. I said, no, man, it's for you. And he goes, why you want to give me a gift? I said, because me and you got the similar backgrounds. And I want my future to be like your future. He was like, well, what is that? I said, I want to raise champs. And he goes, I like that. I said, look, with all due respect, I said, I know where you came from. And I know what you're doing. I said, you raised Junior. If it wasn't for Junior, they wouldn't be this. So if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't be this. And all these kids that are practicing from the gutter, they wouldn't have nowhere to go. They wouldn't be here. But it started with you. So I gave him a shirt that said hereditary. He goes, man, you mind if I put it on? I said, I'd be offended if you didn't. So he put it on. We got a picture, I got it on the site. But, I always try to, like, not just try to blow it up, but I want to honor people, you know what I'm saying? Because of you. Because you don't know how many times, like, I'm rooting for Mayweather and everybody's, oh, he keeps running. I'm like, no, his style is crazy. You know what I mean? I'm always the oddball because, he's always fighting Latinos. And then so I'm Latino and we're all Latinos in the house. So when I'm going for Mayweather, I'm the only one. You know what I mean? Because I love his style. I love the way he fight. I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just he's playing chess. And I just love it. But so I wanted to meet him. I couldn't meet him, but I met his dad, and I ended up giving him that gift. It was cool.
That's awesome, man. I really like that. I like how you found words that like have red in it, and you put that emphasis on it. Like it's those silent but deadly effective methods, man.
Right.
Oh man,
right.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I get everything. I just don't play in words like all of it, but a lot of times I would like, you know what I think will be hot, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So
I like that.
So it's cool.
I like that.
Appreciate it.
So what kind of products do you do? I know you do hoodies and T-shirts. I think you had jumpsuits as well.
Yeah, I started off with T-shirts, but see, this is the thing. Like a lot of people would say, let me check out your merch. And I would say, I don't have merch. I got a brand. You know what I'm saying? And I don't ever, I mean, and no disrespect, but a lot of people say, support small business. I'm not a small business. You're not supporting a small business. What you're doing is investing in a movement. You know what I mean? So I don't want to, oh, who do you think you are, man? I'm a king. I know who I am now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to beat you up on the price. I'm not trying to like play with words so you can pay more for the product. You know what I mean? But this is what it is, and this is what I am. And a lot of people will say, well, let me see your merch. I said, I don't have merch. It's a brand. So I started off with T-shirts, and then I flipped it, and you know how that goes. And then the summertime, the wintertime, I'll come out with hoodies and stuff like that. Then I started getting like top and bottoms sets because I was born in 79, but I always say I'm a 70s baby. People like, man, you just made it. But man, I just remember the 80s, and I remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like, and I grew up hip hop. I remember the first time I heard, hip hop to the hip to the hop. I remember I was a kid, right? And I always loved Mike, and Michael Jackson. So, that's what I like. So I do the jumpsuits, like the top and bottoms for the female, the velour that feels good. I started doing that. I started doing some workout brand because I feel too, even though, I'm not in the shape I want to be in right now, but I do lift weights and stuff like that because I feel mind, body, and spirit, everything, all three in one. So I want everybody, if it's just a walk around the block, hey, take it and put on some red ink. You do it. So I got, some female, the leggings. I got, and I work with a lot of youth and young adults, so they tell me look, as far as the leggings, make sure you do the squat test, this, that, the other. So I kind of know, like, oh, okay, cool. So they kind of hit me on to, the female gear. So I got that. I got some workout gear for the men. I got, and I'm recently dropping like turtlenecks that I got on there too, because you want to look good sometimes. Like you want to go to, paint the town red ink, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to like look fly with it too. Everybody, I got some corduroy hats that some dad hats too. So it ain't all just streetwear. Don't stop me at anywhere. Don't label me nothing, because man, the sky's the limit, and I'm going all the way to the stars. So I want everything. And of course, I do have streetwear, the fly gear and stuff like that. Later on, I want to start doing like sunglasses. Like I got some things in mind for sunglasses. I want to do shoes. I want to do, you know what I'm saying, just the whole brand. But right now, it's just, slowly but surely and stuff like that. So, but people are catching on. People that do catch on love it. They're giving me ideas. They're giving me, you know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool working with everybody.
That's wonderful. And so, like, the main idea is that you want to be able to have clothing for everybody. Everybody needs to feel like royalty, look fabulous.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. There's so many ideas that I got in my mind that my pocket can't afford yet. So it's always going to be slowly but surely, hey, but I started with $300 at a garage sale. You know what I mean? So, man, anything, hey, keep pushing. And I made some stuff that didn't do so well. So, but it's a learning experience. Okay, cool. That didn't do so well. Fine, on to the next. Or I took a loss like that too. Hey, on to the next. You know what I mean? So it's been crazy. It's been wild. And I've been shown a lot of love here in Houston. There's, I don't know if you know, in Almeda Mall, there's a store called Exclusive Elements. And they put me in the store. They're like, yeah. I mean, it took a few times for me to go talk to them.
Yeah.
Because the first time they were like, well, and they were cool.
Yeah.
I ain't, that's their business. I ain't, hey. So they were like, man, we really got no room for, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Hey, I could take a no. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. No love lost, right? Because y'all doing y'all thing, and I respect y'all.
Yeah.
And then, but I see you in 6 months, right? So I came back the next 6 months. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Talking woo. And then I said, hey man, so how about hey, no love lost. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Give them dab, and I leave, and then I'll come back. Hey, how about now? Not yet. And then one day he was like, man, let me see what you got. And I'm like, shoot, here it goes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll take a no, but I'm not keeping a no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I start bugging and it ain't the right time. And then I understand. I could read the room. You know what I mean? But other than that, people just love. And then now we got a relationship going on. We not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, we were passing out turkeys to community and stuff like that because I try to give back to the community. Like, I can't just use the words like, I want to do this for the community and not give back.
Right.
Now, I can't give back like as much as I want to because I got dreams about giving back too, starting centers and stuff like that too. But I can't do that yet. But what I can do that I'm doing, you know, and that's not to brag. It's just something that, you know, to let people know that, hey, man, it's an investment.
Yeah.
When you getting ready, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, we can't all give back like Mattress Mac, you know, but we try to get there, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, yeah. And he wasn't giving the way he was giving now. He probably started off with one mattress.
Yeah.
He probably started off with you could spend the night. And now he can give the way he wants to. And I would love that feeling. A flood, man, y'all come into my house. Y'all come in here. Hey, man, get y'all something to drink. Get y'all a shower. Get y'all some clothes. Get y'all some stuff out. It's beautiful to help the community like that. You know, to have so much. Because what I learned, too, is a lot of successful people that are millionaires always give. They give. Let it be for tax reasons or whatever, but they're always givers. And they don't just give to anybody that has their hand out. They thoroughly check who to give into, to who to invest into. They're not just giving to people on, you know, and I got no love lost for people on the corner, but they're not just giving millions of dollars away and not worry about where it's going. They really do their research on who to give. So, you know, I envy that, and I always try to take that in practice too. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to sow seed on any rock. You know, you want it to come on good soil so it can flourish. If not, you're just throwing it away. So, you know, I truly believe in giving back. I do.
I believe that, man. I believe that too, man. You know, because whether you believe it or not, karma is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and nothing is better than eating a slice of humble pie a day.
Yeah, right.
So, slice of pie a day keeps the BS away.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So you clearly are well-rounded when it comes to networking and communicating with your clients and things like that. So what kind of advice would you give to people who are, you know, trying to run their own business and have that unsure technique, you know, because it is an art form?
You know what? I appreciate that. Because I always say I'm not an artist. I wish I was an artist. I'm not a con artist, but I wish I was like an artist. And because I can't paint. I always tried and I can't. But you know what? People say, I'm gonna tell you this story too, because it was detrimental in my life. So I got a man, a friend of mine, his name's Frank, and he's an older cat. And he does a lot of investments and he's making real nice money, you know. And then one thing led to another and he had a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
And he was put in a chair. But before that, he would always be like, Andrew, what do you do? And I'm like, anything I can do. And he goes, man, you got a gift of gab, man. You need to put it to work. And I said, yeah. He goes, what do you do? I said, I'm cleaning up apartments. He said, what? And then I said, yeah. He goes, no. He goes, you need to do something else. And I said, well, hey, it's a job, you know, and that's how I thought. Anything I can get, I'll get. Please, could I have? Please? You know, I'm begging for a job. And I did that for 2 years. And the manager of the apartments called me in and she goes, hey, you need to look for another job. And I'm like, y'all firing me? And she goes, no. She goes, but you getting too used to this place. She goes, you too good to be here. She goes, I'm going to give you a week off. You go look for another job. I said, wow. She goes, if I don't do this, you're never going to move. You're never going to move on. This is a stepping stool. And I said, all right, I'm 33, sweeping apartment. You know what I mean? So she's seen more in me, and I thank God for her. So I get a job at a car dealership, right? And, you know, I go in there and I talk to the, you know, and I ace the interview. So now I'm a porter and I'm moving cars and, right? And I tell Frank, I said, yeah, man, I'm a porter. You know, I move cars. He goes, why don't you sell them? I'm like, oh, man, I can't do that. He goes, man, yeah, you can. He goes, you got a gift, man. Why don't you put it to work? I said, man, I can't be selling those cars, man. They're in suits. And then he goes, so what? He goes, man. So every time I see Frank, he's like, you salesman of the month yet? I'm like, oh, man. Like, every time I see him, you salesman of the month. Like, and he's busting my chops, right? I'm like, Frank, man, it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're selling yourself short. You're going to regret it. And I'm like, man, all right, whatever. So he ends up catching a stroke, can't talk. He's in the wheelchair. And, you know, my heart goes out to him and the family. And I finally see him again after, you know, he's coming around and, you know, and I remember he gets up, like he sees me and he musters up strength to get up, right? And he can't talk, but he does this. He goes, "Are you salesman of the month?" I said, Frank. I said, even in your position that you can't even walk, you can't even move, you can't even talk, why you worried about me? And like that, I said, look, tomorrow I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna march in there just for you, because this, I'm gonna be a car salesman. He goes, it's about time. And I went in there and I said, hey, and he, you know, I go to the manager and he says, he goes, yeah, what do you want, Andrew? Because everybody knows me around there. I said, man, I want to see about selling cars. He goes, but it's about time. Let's do it. I'm like, what? So what are you talking about? He goes, I always wanted you to sell cars. Oh, I'm going to polish you. You're going to be so nice. You're going to be my protege here. So I'm like, all right. I'm learning how to sell cars. I'm good with people. I just find my gift. You know, I finally see it. I finally see who I am. And the next time I see Brother Frank, I put something in his hand. I said, there's something for you in this hand. I said, I'm salesman of the month. And he goes, I knew it. He said, I knew it. Next month, I said, Brother Frank. I said, man, we put something in your hand. He goes, what is it? I said, I'm salesman of the month again. He goes, 2 months in a row? I said, yeah. I said, I'm ready to go for 3 like Jordan, right? I want a three-peat. So the next month, I said, he said, here you go, let me put something in your hand. He goes, what are you doing? And you know, and I'm not bragging. I just want to honor the man. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have woken up, right? So I put something else in his hand. I said, salesman of the month, 3 months in a row. And the rest is here. He goes, now look, now listen to me. He goes, you see how? I said, yeah. He goes, this ain't it. He goes, I don't know what you're going to do after this, but selling cars is not what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So I said, all right, I'm listening. I'm taking notes. I'm like, all right, what else is there for me? Right? You seen it. What else is there for me? So he says, I don't know yet, but man, to this day, man, Brother Frank and his wife, Rosie, they could call me for anything. I mean, anything, and I'm there, you know? So just because they changed, I mean, there's a lot of people that help in my journey, you know what I'm saying? But them, man, they opened me to things that I never would have thought. Now I'm taking vacations. Now I'm doing, man, it's beautiful. And that's what I teach the youth. Like, man, that other life ain't nothing. Like, it's nothing. Like, where's the money go? To lawyers. It's a game. You save up all that money just to get bail. Like, I know what it is. Okay, your jewelry and your cars, but that you're gonna have to sell that to get a good lawyer. Like, it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? And I try to make sense out of some. And so a lot of get it, and a lot don't. And when they don't, I visit them in jail. Like, I'm still here. Oh, you think I was gonna go? You think I'm gone? You think that's it? Nah, I told you I'm here for life. And I just don't want to do it to the youth that I know. I want to do it all over the world. For the people in China, Japan, Australia, anywhere. If you're that kid that can't get right, hey, man, I'm telling you, I know what you're feeling. I know what you feel. And I'm not going to give up. Just because, like, some, you know, I help, yeah, and they say it. I'm not just trying to brag, but, you know, some I helped graduate. Some graduated, and they thank me for that. And, man, it's an honor. It's touching. But some didn't. And some went to, you know, caught a murder case. And some of them, you know, went to jail. And some of them are in the grave right now. You know what I mean? But I'm still there until they buried them. And I'm still there, you know, still writing them. You know what I'm saying? I'm still writing them. Hey, man, that's all right. Just knock it off. Don't forget. It still can happen. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them still young, 21, catching murder cases, 22. Man, you know, when in 96, I remember good friends of mine catching murder cases. And they getting out 2-3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting out and they're working now and they're paying bills now. And it's never too late as long as you got breath, as long as you can breathe. And it's funny, I got a shirt that says infrared, right? So a lot of people think like infrared, oh, like the gun. I'm like, no, infrared will catch you like, they don't need light. The infrared could catch your body heat.
Yes.
Right? So the infrared is across the chest where your heart is at. And as long as you got blood pumping in your heart, it's not too late. So when you wearing that infrared, you could say, look, man, it ain't too late. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. It's not too late for me. So keep on trucking, keep on going. You know what I mean? And that's one of the, the messages I got in for it too. So, but yeah, man, I never thought I can do any of this. And I know it sounds cliche. If I can do it, you can do it. But man, you can do it. You know what I mean? We can do it then. Let's do it together. You know what I mean? Like, I'll help you help me. Shoot, help me. You know what I mean?
This could be us if you would just wipe your behind and let's get to business.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
All right. For my production people, this is loadout, okay? There is no break time. We need to
No.
load it up.
Yeah.
Get it together now.
Let's do it. Like yesterday.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can dig it, man. I can
Cool.
dig it, man.
And I respect everybody, like we may not all agree on everything, but man, hey, look, if it looks like a 9 to you and it looks like a 6 to me, because we're both two different places, together that's 96. We already almost at 100 if we work together. You may see the 9, I may see the 6. But together we make 96. Man, we almost at 100. Let's just work together. Let's put our petty differences to the side. Who's in office or who's in the sky or who's in, hey man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You still human. We here on earth, you know what I'm saying? Living this life. Let's do it together at the best of our abilities. You know what I mean? I don't like that loner stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do very well alone, my alone time. But at the same time, man, hey, sometimes I do need help. Sometimes I do need a phone call. And, hey, man, can you remind me, And everybody needs that. It doesn't matter who, you know what I'm saying? And I want people to make regular, like, hey, I love you. To make regular, hey, you need help. To make regular, hey, I like what you did. To make regular, you know what I'm saying? Like, from Drink Champs, Nori, he made the saying popular, give people their flowers, you know what I'm saying, while they're alive, until why wait till they're dead to give them the flowers? It means give people their props, but a lot of people don't want to do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that. What's wrong with saying, hey man, I like the way you did that? You know what I'm saying? You mind if I don't want to bite off your style? I gotta kind of like what I want to do to it. You mind if I use some of it? You know what I mean? And a lot of people would just be like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. But a lot of people want to make this fake competition and abuse what could be used. And it just don't make sense. But I want to make, and with Red Ink, and because I do a lot of collaborations, because I want to work with people. A lot of people I'll show, and a lot of people, they'll show me a lot of stuff. And then, like, say I got like 600 followers, and you got so many, but man, I could share minds with you, and we can, like, and man, we'll take over, a side of Houston, we'll take over everywhere. You know what I mean? But, I took some young adults to the Post. Have you ever been to the Post?
Mm-mm.
So it's in downtown, and it's cool. It's like it's a food court right now, but they're gonna make a mall. It's gonna be crazy, right?
Nice.
If you look it up later, it's gonna be nuts. I love Houston.
Me too.
So
yes.
On top, like on the top of the roof, it's real nice out there. They have music out there. They have like live bands and stuff like that. And you see the city. It's like, man, you could taste it. And I told them, like, look, man, the talents you have in you, bring it out. And I said, and we'll take the city over. I said, pick a building. You know what I'm saying? We can do it. And I let them know that, don't die with your talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people died with stuff they should have gave to the world. A lot of people died, and that's why I always say the cemetery is the most expensive place on earth, because that's where the books that never been written died at. That's where the plays that's supposed to have been written never played. That's where the poem's supposed to come. That's where the painting's supposed to do. Imagine if we didn't have Michelangelo and the Sixteenth Chapel. The artwork made somebody say, you know what, I want to do that. If it was never there, that person would have never been there, and it would have never clicked something in his mind to do that. And he would have been unhappy. But a lot of people don't want to pass that baton. That's why the cemetery is so ugly place. It's so scary because it swallows your ideas. It swallows what you were supposed to give to the world. The cemetery should be a place to where he's transitioning. He's empty. He gave all he had to the world.
A resting place.
A resting place. Something.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not. That's why there is an afterlife, because there's a lot of songs not played.
Right.
Plays not written.
Right.
Okay. Games not played.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I always, since I'm Mexican, I always look at like Aaron Hernandez. And Aaron Hernandez, he could have been great.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been great. I don't know if you know his story,
mm-hmm.
but it always messes with my mind, and it makes me angry because he could have been great. Like, you already don't see too many like Mexican football players, but we had Aaron Hernandez, and he didn't do it, and it messes with me. And then I look at Allen Iverson, and don't get me wrong, he was unbelievable for his size, for his stature, for everything, but he just wouldn't submit under his coach. And take the discipline and the teachings, and and rest in peace, Kobe. I respect Kobe. I just feel Allen Iverson could have been on that level as Kobe if he just would have submitted under his coaching. And it just pisses me off that the grave just swallows us whole when it should have swallowed us empty. And that's what I always tell somebody. Whatever you have in there, man, give it to the world. Give it to the world. What if I didn't take it out the closet? What if I still didn't, start the brand? Where would everybody else that hears the story, where would they be at? Or even in the future, you know what I'm saying? Because hopefully I'm going to be touching 1 billion, you know what I mean? And the story, like the beginnings will be like, wow, you really did it from nothing. You know what I mean? And if I didn't do it, where would it be? So that's what I always try to tell people, man, what's your talent? What's your talent?
I'm kind of like speechless because I think you pretty much just laid it down for the hometown, the town next over, a couple oceans away. Like, I mean, if it don't get no more clearer than that, you know what I'm saying?
It don't.
So,
we're all given talents. What are you going to do with them? We're all given talents, and we're all getting 24 gold bars a day. What are we going to do with them? And a lot of people waste them. And, it's sad because as Latino, and I keep saying, I'm not trying to bring race up or anything, but as Mexicanos, we always like the dads. You got to work hard. You got to break your back. If your hands ain't doing this, then you ain't working hard enough. And it's like, man, you don't have to work that hard. So a lot of the kids are like, man, I like doing art. Or I like rapping, but my dad don't see it. He thinks I should be breaking my back, and I would have to talk to dads like, hey man, have you seen his work? Like, he can get paid. That hard work you're speaking of that you instilled in him, he's ready to do that with this talent. That hard work that you instilled in him with this give him a year. Give him okay, I'll give you a year and you can eat free and you can sleep free and do all this free. But after a year, if this don't take off, that's because you didn't work hard enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Then now you got to go work physically or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just give these kids a chance to express themselves and watch what they'll bring home. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the talent that Houston alone has. So it's like, don't die with it. And that's what, I don't want to say basically what red ink means, but that's a part of what red ink means. It brings hope. And I do a lot. I still write people that when I was in the jail that they ain't never coming out. So I still write them, send them Christmas cards and stuff like that. Some send them pictures and stuff. And, a lot of times when they get my letters and pictures, they're like, hey, man, my homeboy wrote me. Y'all come over here, check this. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. And I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, man, I'll tell everybody. And this is different units in Texas. So if I can reach a unit in Texas, just one dorm, and for like 300 people, and only one person say, you know what, he did that. He was in here. He was with you. He stayed in cell such and such, and now he's doing this. Maybe I could think about doing something on my own. If I could just touch one person, reach one, teach one kind of deal. If I could just reach one person, man, hey, man, I'm good. But I'm not going to just reach one. It's going to be a whole, legion. And we're going to take over. We have to. Because people need to get their minds sparked, open. I know what it took for me. So if I can take that and bring it out to somebody else, and then I can leave empty. You know what I mean? But I still got a lot of work. So y'all be prepared to see me for a while.
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. I'm prepared. I'm not just prepared. I'm excited because I really, really dig the vibe and your energy, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
No doubt.
Like, you've laid some real truth, man. So I hope these people that are watching this are going to be paying attention.
I hope so. And they can also follow me on Instagram. It's redink_713. Follow me, I'll follow back. And, I drop gems when I get them. You know what I'm saying? Freely I'm going to give to y'all. I ain't going to charge nobody nothing like that. But if y'all see what y'all like, man, just come, hey, how do I get this? I'm still doing the website. So it's still kind of like in birthing stage. But once it's hit, I know it's going to hit the ground running. So get what I got now, because it's going to be worth something. It's going to be the throwback one day.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So for now, is the best way to contact you about any kind of orders is on social media?
Yes. Instagram, okay. You could DM me, or Facebook's Andrew Rodriguez. I got a picture of a lion on it. Everybody thinks I'm a Leo, but I'm not. I'm just royalty. So, But yeah, contact me. I would love to meet. I talk to people. Sometimes I'll drop off, but we got the website going. My son's helping me out. And man, we're going to have it going. It's going to be on. It's going to be popping.
Excellent.
I appreciate it.
Well, I look forward to seeing it, man.
And I got something for you, too, so you can, rock with it. A little gift of honor, too.
Oh, thank you.
I want to have this platform for one for you, so I kind of want to just, want to help you out, too. And I mean, not help you out, but, honor you, too, with a little gift or something you could choose.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man.
No doubt.
Do you have any last bit of advice for the listeners?
Man, just never give up. I know it sounds cliche too, like, oh, don't give up, but really, don't give up. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be rain coming, but man, rain is what sows that seed deep in that ground, and we need the rain. And there's gonna be some drought sometimes, but man, that sun is what we need to have it grown. So in any situation, hey man, wait it out. If you believed it and you dreamed it, of course it's gonna be tested. Mm-hmm. Man, pass that test. Just keep on going.
Keep on going. Okay? All right? Time is infinite. You got nothing but time to be great.
Right.
Okay? Right. And it's right now. Like, do it right now.
Right now.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening this week. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.